Hello, this is Cheryl. I'm happy you're back. So today I am going to take a stamp that I created out of some color layering dies, and I'm going to use them for gelli printing. Now, to find out how I made the stamp, look at my previous video. I'll also link it down below. And first thing I'm going to do is put the black on my stamp, and I'm going to do the bodies. Now, for doing this, you do need to stamp backwards. You would go from front to back. So you do need to think in a little bit of a different way. The other thing you need to do is you need to let the paint dry on your gelli plate completely between layers. And I also clean up my gelli plate, clean up my stamp, while I'm waiting for my layers to dry. Technically, you don't necessarily need to clean off the stamp because the acrylic paint will just dry on them, but I decided to. So I'm just using wet wipes for simplicity and convenience. And the second color I'm going to do is an iridescent pink, and I'm going to use that for the layered butterfly wing pieces. So I just put it out on a second gelli plate to get a nice thin coat before dipping my stamp in it. For the second layer, I actually grabbed an L positioner to help me position that stamp a little bit more correctly on the plate. That way I had a little bit more precision. So for all of them, I am stamping on the lower left side of the plate, and I'm tucking it in so that all my positioning for my stamps will be perfect. The next color I'm going to do is just a cream color, and I actually do this one twice because just doing it once, in my opinion, the color wasn't opaque enough. So by adding a second layer, I just added a little bit more opacity to it. You could do more layers than that, or you could just leave it with just one layer, but I am happy that I did a second layer. So once again, I'm stamping it. I'm going to let it completely dry, and then I'm going to stamp a second layer just to get some more of that cream color to show up. I don't want to be able to see my sky color through my butterfly wings. Once my butterfly wings have completely dried, I'm taking a really, really pale blue. I'm getting a nice thin coat onto my brayer, and then I'm going to cover the entire image with a thin coat of that light blue, making sure to make it a little bit bigger than the piece that I'm going to put on my card. I'm actually printing onto some cardstock, and I'm using that L positioner again in order to position my paper properly. And then I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, put it on top of that so that I can just be able to press it a little bit more firmly and evenly without having to worry about getting paint on my hands. Now, clearly I didn't have that piece of paper ready, so I had to go get it. But this way I can get nice even pressure and make sure that I've got really good contact between that cardstock and my paper. And now is the moment of truth, just to see how it worked. And there we have a beautiful gel print. And these stamps can be reused over and over and over again, so I can make a bunch of these cards if I want. Or I could even create these gelli printed images and then use my dies to die cut them just for something a little bit different for different projects. So I'm just taking my piece of cardstock and gluing it to the back of the card base for a super simple card. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Stickles just to add a touch of sparkle, and then stamp a sentiment. Again, very simple card, one layer, but a great way to reuse those dies in a different and unexpected way. Don't forget to hit the bell notification as well as the subscribe button to be notified of more videos as they're published. Now you can create these cards with whatever sentiment you want. I chose just a very simple thank you, and I did it with StazOn ink, which is a permanent ink that is going to dry and be permanent nicely on top of that acrylic paint.